Hello and welcome to Weird Around Illinois. In Volo Bog in northern Illinois, there was a legend about a mysterious monster lurking in the shadows. People whispered that it had glowing red eyes and sharp pointy teeth. They said it would only come out at night, scaring anyone who dared to venture into the bog. Some claimed to have seen its shadowy figure moving through the mist. Okay, in reality, there's no evidence of any such legend. That was generated completely by AI. But here's the reason I had AI generate that story for you. I had been hearing stories throughout my childhood about some sort of monster that lived in Volo Bog. And I've been really surprised that with all my internet searches, I've never found anyone else sharing any stories of any monsters in Volo Bog. So we went to take a look, and we're going to tell you about it. Let's get weird. I'll start by telling you my stories. Not really stories. These are like fragments of memories of stories. Pretty sure it was my older brothers telling me these stories, so this could have been just something they were saying to scare their younger brother, but
I still remember hearing about it somewhere from someone. And since nobody else is talking about it, then it hasn't been investigated either. So at the very least, we're going to be the first ones to ever look for it. So we might be creating our first internet cryptid.
All right.
Even though we're opening ourselves up to a whole bunch of trolls who are saying, I've lived in Volo for 40 years and I've never heard of any monster.
Was this cryptid ever described to you?
It was when I was a kid, but I don't remember.
Well, if we see a giant mutant, like, hopping over to us and trying to attack us, we'll know.
This isn't very far away from McHenry, where the spot is, right?
Right. For some reason, I'd always picture it as something aquatic and reptilian.
I remember something about a creature that lived in the actual water of Volo Bog, and it was lizard-like. It was a picture like the creature from the Black Lagoon combined with an alligator, that kind of thing. Beyond that, I really don't remember much, other than I remembered I never wanted to go to Volo Bog. So I did, as I mentioned, an internet search, and I was trying to find anything weird that has ever been recorded at Volo Bog. Now, there weren't any actual stories recorded, but apparently there are people who gather there every so often to do ghost stories, usually around Halloween. So I don't know if those are just random ghost stories or if these are ghost stories specific to Volo Bog. Maybe we'll check it out next Halloween and find out. The only other thing I could find is there have been rumors of strange noises and strange shadows that appear usually at dusk. So it was enough to get us out there looking anyway. The bog itself is considered to be a national landmark. It's a very big area controlled by the, I believe it's the Lake County Forest Preserve. It could be the State Forest Service as well, I'm not sure. But it is an area with a lot of natural areas and a picnic grove and a lot of visitor interpretation out there. There's even like a visitor center, but it was closed when we were there. Looks more like a barn. It's a giant swamp, and it's covered with spangum moss, which you really don't want to touch if you can avoid it because it causes all kinds of problems. It has floating trees on the moss, and it has this deep lake in the middle of it with really poor drainage. And apparently that leads to high acidity, which causes things like spangum moss to grow there. And it causes the area to have like different plants and animals than other areas around it. To me, that just screamed weird place that should have something even weirder there.
Yeah, with the variation, you kind of think in the back of your mind, there's got to be something unique over there.
Yeah.
As in like a new creature.
So we went out there a couple hours before dark. We're hoping to... It's always tricky with these places because they close right around dark, and you don't want to get locked in, but at the same time you want to be there like right as the sun is going down.
What we ended up walking on first was like a floating walkway. It was like, I think it was Park Bridge, Park Walkway.
Yeah, pretty deep into the swampy area there.
Yeah.
And my understanding is they had to make it floating because the water level goes up and down so much that, so that they don't have to close every week because the thing's underwater. They just put it on floats so it would go up.
Yeah, the weird thing about that is that we had two very different choices to go through at that point. One was, the normal dry land that seemed actually pretty dark to go down.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was the scary bridge. We chose the scary bridge.
Yeah.
Right.
This bridge is the most monstrous thing going.
Yeah.
I want to get closer to those trees.
That we are doing.
Fear that a good gust of wind comes along and make the light closer to everybody. I think it'd be safe to fall across this bridge on that curve.
I don't know. We might be going slower then. As long as we keep the speed, it should be fine.
That looks kind of promising.
Yeah. Oh my.
Looks like it's solid.
Alright, I feel less safe on this.
Yeah, this wood feels like it's about to go.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Watch out for that.
Yeah, definitely no survivors.
No. Oh, watch out there. It's really steep for some reason.
Another one.
Oh, other.
This is just old wild wood, or if they use some sort of weird construction material on it.
They're all broken. Oh, here we go. No. There's some opening over there.
Oh yeah, that's sketchy. Oh my.
I don't like being last here.
I'm sorry.
First is not much better. At least you'll get to see us go in if one of these boards leaves.
Oh,
Oh my.
this is just a boat.
This is it.
Well, it'd be nice to go fishing here.
I don't know if there's fish here.
Oh,
I presume so. So everything here floats, even the trees.
everything.
How deep is this hole?
Might not be deep, right? Something like it. No.
50 feet deep.
What?
Well, 50 feet deep.
Whoa.
But yeah, as you were saying, due to the deepness of the area of the water, it was not a good place to be.
No.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that when I read like the water's so deep because there's so many plants. I didn't think they could like survive when the water's that deep.
You know, I think what it is, after reading a bit more about it, I think there's actually a layer of moss, like 6 feet under the water or something, and the plants are actually growing on the moss, like dirt.
So you're telling me there was like a little sponge or a trampoline under it that you could just go on?
Yeah, and if you fall through it, you'll drop another 45 feet.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I'm sure glad we didn't drop there now.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I wasn't sure while we were walking. I was like, I think we might just fall in water that's not so deep. But now I realize it actually was deep.
In some parts, I think it was. And in other parts, you were probably right. It was probably just like, 2 or 3 feet deep, and we would have been fine.
Yeah, the deepest part of the entire area was like 50 feet.
Yeah, that was at the end of the walkway.
Yeah, but that walkway, I mean, it was, we learned a couple steps in that we had to walk down the dead center, because if we walked on either side of it, it started rocking back and forth and trying to throw us over the side.
As we kept going, the material started swapping, changing.
Yeah. It went from this, let's see, it started off with like wood, right?
No, it started off with, it wasn't a wood material, I don't think. It was some kind of plastic.
But it wasn't the goofy plastic at the end that we dealt with. It was it was like a plastic plank or something.
Yeah, something like that.
And then it went to wood, and then it went to those weird, like spongy wood things.
All deteriorating slowly.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if it was real wood that had become so waterlogged that when you step on it, it gives like 3 inches.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just that.
Oh, wow.
It must have been there a long time.
Okay, here's where it gets worse. What the? Oh. Sorry, I'm just looking at that image. early loggers. Thousands of years, bogs have been used as hunting grounds. Oh, it's just more history, but I don't know, the picture caught my eye.
Yeah.
Like a
That,
dead alien.
yeah. You see dry land ahead.
Oh. Oh, this ain't much better.
Yeah, dry might have been an overstatement on my part.
Holy.
Stick to the high side.
Yeah. Oh, it's just birds.
Oh, there's a beaver dam.
Oh.
That's quite a structure. I presume it's a beaver dam, not a fog monster hideout.
Yeah.
I mean, some of it was literally going into the water.
Yeah,
That was scary.
it was detached from each other. It was that bad because like when you took a step, you were in front of me. It moved. It like changed a little bit. And when I took a step, it did the same thing.
Yeah, and I kept telling you guys as we were walking down, I was like, you know, if there is something out here and we have to run away from it on this bridge, we're goners.
Yeah.
And I also said, I hope the monster falls into the water before us.
Right.
There was definitely gonna be something going up and grabbing me by the foot and pulling me down.
Yeah. And if I could make one recommendation to the people who are taking care of Volo Bog, it's this. Rails. Handrails would be really nice on that bridge.
Yeah, it's like balancing on a tightrope without the bridge or without the railing.
So we finally made it off the walkway, and there were some beautiful views out there, and there were some spots where we were really expecting to see something. But then we decided we were going to take a walking path. And again, the bog gave us two choices. There was the deer path overlook, or whatever it was called, and then there was the Tamarack Trail.
Well, that looks like a formal trail. Let's see what it is.
2.75 miles. Or no. Yep.
How could that be the same trail that starts over there?
Wait, what? Same trail?
Yeah. Well, no, but I mean the trail we didn't take, the one that would have gone right when we went left. It's a Tamarack Trail, 2.75 miles.
Same trail, but backwards?
Maybe it goes all the way around the bog.
Guess we'll take it.
You guys up for a 2.75 mile walk?
Okay.
All right.
Watch out for the poop.
See, we need a scatologist with us, poopologist with us. Tell us what kind of poop that is.
Yeah. Where's Bill when you need him?
Pick up a little piece and start chewing on it.
Now, they didn't say how long the deer path overlook was, but it looked pretty darn short.
At first, it kind of just seemed like a casual, paved area. But as we kept going, we started to notice tall grasses, and in a few places, kind of a mist made of gray trees, also like some fog behind it.
Yeah, coming off the water.
Yeah, it was kind of a mix of both. And in our past investigations, we kind of faced a similar thing where trees kind of made it look like it was pure mist, but it really wasn't.
Yeah, and we started seeing all that stuff after we made the decision to take the 2.75 mile Tamarack Trail.
Nice photos.
Oh,
The color of the
wow, that's a lot.
Even with how many people visit this place every year, I don't think anybody gets into that.
No. It's just like corn. I mean, you could go through it somewhat, but like,
You wouldn't know what was 5 feet away from
yeah. You might want to go the shorter way, maybe.
it. Well, that's Tamarack. That's the one that goes 2.75 miles. This is Deer Path. It's probably like another half mile. Probably have another 2 miles to go from that. Long way.
Alright.
All right. Another paw print. Big, but not abnormally big.
Nice one. Recorded.
So if you see a coyote in the daytime, it's bad news. They either have rabies or they're underfed. In either case, they're dangerous.
Well, hopefully it's far away from us somewhat.
Rabbit?
In there, somewhere.
Look out for the dog poop.
Oh, that's a big dog.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what's been leaving the tracks. The shame of it is, I'm getting good enough at this that I can tell that was from a domestic dog, not a coyote. Great, I'm becoming the poopologist.
Yeah.
That was a long and winding trail. And I don't know. I've walked 3-mile trails before, and this one, I don't know if it's because there were so many hills or because it was pitched differently or because it kind of went narrow at points or what, but this was the most grueling 3-mile trail I've been on in a long time. It felt like 6 miles, not 3.
You could argue the treachery and the great disastrous adventure we went on made it harder, but I've walked around a track that's 1 mile each like full round about 8 times in a row. I've done that before.
Mm-hmm.
And it was on a sunny, or it was on a really hot day, and I was still okay with it somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
But that, no. It was still a lot. So it was not 2.75.
No, I really don't think it was either. I think somebody's messing with us, whoever made that sign.
Overall, the place didn't seem that welcoming. It looked run down. There were a lot of errors that I could see. No rails, wrong markings.
Well, I mean, it is a bog. The fact that they keep it up at all, I guess we should be grateful for.
Now, one thing that I should mention is at one point on this journey, we came across this big gravel mountain.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a hillside, but like right next to it is some construction. I have no idea what they're doing, but they somehow managed to make that giant hill.
I really expected to see Bigfoot peeking over the top of that hill.
Yeah, and then just waving at us. Hey, you guys need a hand?
As you said, we could have shot the video that nobody would believe.
Yeah.
I think they were digging a gravel pit of some sort. It looked like they were just, digging.
Connecting that to the bar walk, about how far, according to the points, was that? Like over a mile?
I think it was probably less than a mile.
Okay, well, supposedly less than a mile. We were already so far away from that mountain, and it was just far in the distance. It looked even bigger, but that was the moment where I thought in my head, this is not like half a mile or less than a mile.
Yeah. So we were looking for cryptids on most of that walk. Admittedly, by the end of the walk, I was looking for the end of the walk. But but early on, we were looking for cryptids, and I was really watching every bit of water that we passed really closely. I kept expecting to see like a reptilian head poking out of the water and kind of looking around and then going back under.
That would be a reward for us at that point.
Yeah. So we saw some good cryptid habitat, I think.
Like I said before, a lot of grass, plenty of paths anyway, especially a lot of wildlife. And, we've been to quite a few places where there's deer and squirrels, of course, and all the random normal stuff. But this area had larger amounts of those animals.
Yeah. We were seeing, it seemed like every few feet we were seeing rabbits or squirrels or field mice or deer or something.
Yeah, heck, I even managed to find a completely black some kind of animal that just crossed by really fast.
Yeah, and we saw a beaver dam at one point.
That's true.
So that, to me, that just screams prey. If there's a Bigfoot or a dogman or something out there, or unidentified reptilian swamp creature, it could eat really, really well. And there's plenty of water there to drink, and you've got the tall grass to hide in and the thick trees.
And assuming this is a water creature, they could stay under there for quite a while.
Yeah.
Maybe probably underneath all the moss and stuff down there.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be a great way to hide and minimize sightings.
Yeah. We kept expecting to see it. Like around every turn, we'd get to a certain spot and we'd say, oh, this would be a perfect place for Bigfoot. Then we get to another like more wooded spot and I'd say, oh, this would be a perfect place for Dogman. We get to the swamp and we're looking for the thing to creep out. And, probably the most cryptic thing we saw was that weird note that somebody left in the blind.
Yeah. Just one big blind that I don't understand how these people even found it in the first place.
Yeah, that somebody felt the need to write their personal story and advice in the blind.
Yeah.
It was interesting. So, I mean, the potential for cryptids is there, but we really didn't see anything, so we can't really disprove the internet at this point.
Yeah. Anytime I thought like I was hearing something, or I thought I saw something, it turned out it was just an animal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also forgot to mention there were a ton of birds.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Way more than I've ever heard nor seen.
Now, when they talk about mysterious sounds, I have to say there were some bird calls that I've never heard before.
Yeah.
And I've heard some birds, but I swear one of them sounded like a pterodactyl.
One sounded like a whale.
Yeah,
As
one
well.
sounded like a whale. One sounded like a pigeon, like on Ritalin or something.
Yeah.
It's really some crazy sounds out there.
But hey, at the end, in horrible pain, we made it to the end, and it turned out that was the second path, right next to the bridge, or like.
Yeah, that's true. The end of the Tamarack path was actually next to that first place we went.
Yeah,
So,
it was a long full circle.
so no matter which path we chose, we were in for either terror or pain.
Yeah.
And then, foolish us, we took both. Hopefully you can learn from our pain and only go to Volo Bog if you're planning on taking a really, really long and challenging walk. If you do happen to go to the bog and see a mysterious creature, we would love to hear about it. Or if you've heard any of these stories that are like the ones that I heard growing up about something paranormal being in that bog, I'd love to hear that as well. So, as always, thank you for listening, thank you for subscribing, and thanks for leaving your comments.